The man is this way, and this is why we just love him. He's the real deal.
And he's such a delight. And not
Yeah.
only that, his information is profound.
It is.
It's just the beautiful bridge between science and spirituality.
We're talking to the guy who made the discovery. I mean, truly, he changed the minds of the planet.
Exactly.
When it came to genealogy.
And the scientists as
Yeah,
well.
I know.
Incredible stuff. So Kryon has begun talking about awakening. I love this topic. And what more beautiful way to begin moving into the circle of 12 than having that theme. So with that theme of awakening, the reason you are here deliberately watching this program is because you have had something within you awaken. Some of you may have stumbled across this by accident, but I'd like to remind you there are no accidents. Something within you is awakening to wanting to discover that perhaps there is a divine majesty within the cells of your body waiting for you to have awareness. And with that awareness, it brings greater insights. It opens a door to intuition. And through intuition, allow these brilliant sparks of divine knowledge to come into your being. And so now I'd like to invite you to close your eyes if you haven't already. And there is nothing to do. There is simply allowing the energy of Kryon to speak to you. Kryon speaks to you in a very personal way. And so let us now listen to the personal message that Kryon has just for you.
Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon. Come a little closer. What if I told you you're not who you think you are? That has many layers of understanding, dear ones. But the truth is this: you think you are that which you have been taught you are. No matter what culture you have come from, you are shaped by what you've been told. The guest today brought it forward in scientific terms, and now we tell you it is so. And that part of the unprogramming or deprogramming of what you have been told is what this, the Circle of 12, is all about. It's coming to a grander conclusion upon examination of you, your life, your purpose. That grander conclusion is coming to that which is far different than anything you were ever told. What if I told you you're not who you think you are? I'll give you an axiom. We've said it before. You need to hear it again. Every single human being on this planet has a greater part of themselves called a soul. It's the bigger you. Every human being on this planet comes in fresh with the ability to find the Creator. We've said it before. At some level, some intuitive level, it has happened. For over 85% of the planet believes in God, a monotheistic creator. One energy, the Creator. But that's as far as it goes. And then there are literally dozens and dozens of systems you believe that that Creator wants you to be in, participating, in order to find the Creator. And that, dear ones, is your training. What if I told you you're not who you think you are? What if who you are is a pristine human being? When you wipe away the programs that you've been told about who God is, what if you stand there without those programs? What would you do? I will tell you this: you are designed to find and use the creative source. You are designed for mastery. All of you, every one of you. You are not designed for suffering. You are not designed to be punished or to be judged. Dear ones, all of that has been given to you by your own cultures, and some by those who really believed it as they told you. They would tell you that that beautiful, wonderful, loving Creator is somehow separated from you so much that that beautiful, loving Creator will then punish you because you did something wrong. Or even worse, punish you just because you're a human being on the earth. Does that really sound right to you? Dear ones, that is what is trained into you, and that's not you. If I started telling you who you really are, you start to see the reactions that you have are programmed. The things that you don't expect about yourselves, or may even be surprised that you have, are programmed. They're the way your mother and father reacted or told you you should react, or spiritual leaders told you to react like this, or don't believe this, or go here, or do this. Isn't it time, perhaps, to start your own reactions based upon compassion, love, and all of the things you are starting to learn are really there for you? Oh, there are so many who say, I am that I am that I am, and nobody's going to change it. This is who I am. Let me tell you, that has also been trained into you. And that is called the never-changing attribute of human nature. The never-changing attribute of human nature. That is not true. Human nature is how humans behave as a whole and have behaved as a group, so much the same for eons that has been cemented in place and called human nature. And it's not looking at something that is all that pleasant either. When that term is used, it's usually used in a negative way. What if I told you that wasn't right either? Human nature can be whatever is happening with your culture, with your planet. Human nature is changeable. You're not going to hear that from psychologists. What happens if an entire planet starts to change its mind about what's important to them? What happens when an entire planet starts to love each other? What happens after hundreds of years and there's no more war? You're going to have to rewrite the term, aren't you? And human nature will become something it never was before, because it is changeable. That's why we're here. We want you to discover things that you can change. We want you to see and admire yourselves in a different way. We'd love to bring to you a whole different idea of who you are. And then you can agree with me. Maybe you're not who you thought you were. And by that, I would say this: those who have awakened to a bigger truth in these last years have an attribute that they know about. And it goes like this. They look at themselves. They look at themselves perhaps a few years ago, and they shake their heads, and they say, who was that person? Did I really say that? Did I really do that? And we've said this before. There's that attribute of disbelief of who you used to be. You changed your own human nature. And now your nature is far more understanding and benevolent and kind. You're no longer a complainer. You watch what you're saying. You start to bring abundance into your life because it's attracted to your mastery. Dear ones, this is the same as everything we've taught. There are those who would question all of it and say there has to be a give and take. What would happen if everybody became abundant on this planet? It can't happen. I will tell you, it can happen. It can happen. Let's see. The result of it would be peace on earth, dear ones. Abundance is not a pile of gold. Abundance is you being taken care of, so you're not hungry. Abundance is far, far different than perhaps that you have even defined it, so that you're peaceful in your society financially, so that you are in a place where you don't worry. Abundance is having peace. You reapply the whole terminology instead of a pile of gold. It becomes you being peaceful, having enough to eat, not hungry, and surviving easily in a society. And there are still those who would say it can't be for all. There's something wrong with this picture, and that is also something you've been told that is incorrect. Other planets have done it, dear ones. They know how. And it also has to do with what is coming, where you get your energy from, where you get your food from, the workflow of what you think might have to be in order to generate certain things, and that all changes. And you start to understand and realize, wow, everyone could benefit, no matter who it is. What if you're not who you really think you are? I want you to go across this bridge with me, because I want you to rewrite that whole scenario for you and others. Stay with me. This may seem like the same kind of an exercise you once had, but not really. I want you to take my hand and get ready to cross the bridge, that metaphoric separation between what is known and linear and what is unknown and multidimensional. The unknown is often frightening to people because they don't know what is truly next. What if truly next meant something grander and bigger? Never negative, always positive. That's what we're talking about. Take my hand, let's cross the bridge. It's a grand place you find yourself in that drips with compassion and peace and love, and you realize this is the real you, not the one you thought was you. This is your soul, dear ones. You are in your soul's energy, and that is what is on this side of the bridge, your soul's energy, where all things are possible, where truly the idea of miracles and magic is every day, whatever you think those words mean, attainable and doable, because you are part of the Creator who created all things. That's your soul. It's eternal in both directions. Always existed, always will. That's your soul. And right now, in this finite of time, it exists with you in a human body. I want you to go into this theater, through that portal, that door that we often ask you to go in, and into this theater in the round. This one where you never know who's going to sit in the seats today, and whether you're going to be standing or sitting on the stage, or whether you're going to be alone. The theater in the round is a theater which has an audience that surrounds it which is sunken. The stage is risen, so you must walk down into the audience and up onto the stage. There's no one in the audience yet. It'll come in later. So if you wish to, and you want to join me, this one is a bit different. Go ahead. Get on the stage, sit in the chair. The chair is there. The spotlight is on it as always, and it's a chair with your name on it. It may even be made of gold. It's so precious. It's where you sit and relax and enjoy and be because of what's going to happen next. This is a difficult one to describe, this experience, and it's timely. And that is to say that years from now, if people listen to this, and when they do, it's one where you kind of had to be there to understand what is going on. There has never been a time, dear ones, when there's been more of a division of attitudes than now, of ideas than now. All through this particular world, and especially in your culture and in your society, you're polarized. You're starting to line up in many different directions because of what is happening. And it's not just political, dear ones. Those who believe this and that and this and that, so many layers of belief and disbelief and ideas of right and wrong and shoulds and should nots, that is starting to separate so many of you from long-time, beautiful, loving friends, from family. And you sit here and you wonder, is this ever going to heal itself? What do I do now? Indeed, some of you had such disappointments that you're trying to get a point across, for instance, of what you truly believe, or trying to say something, and your friends are just the opposite, and they say, how could you be so dumb as to believe what you're believing? And you're looking at them and saying, I feel the same way about you, and the door is slammed, and you haven't seen them for a while, and you just realize they're gone. Because that can't heal, you'll say. That's a tough one. Where family will call you up and say, well, I know we're related, but it wouldn't seem like that because you're not thinking straight. And they'll go after you on some kind of a thing, and it's not always political. And you hang up the phone and realize that's a wounded relationship I used to have with somebody I loved. That's who's going to be in the audience today, and they're filing right now. And I want you to see they're filing in, and they're actually grouping themselves. Unusual for those who believe this, who believe that, those in political parties. It's an odd thing to watch, isn't it? They all group themselves, and they don't really know what's going to happen. They're seated. I'll tell you, this is a metaphor. Are they there or are they not there? It's a metaphor for what can happen. They're looking at you because you've invited them to be here. In a way, you've said esoterically, come into this theater that I visit often. I want to show you something. I want to show you something. And they sit there. And suddenly, as they sit there, perhaps an angel appears with you on stage or something, and a bubble surrounds them, the whole stage, the whole theater, and suddenly, in this bubble, a consciousness magic occurs, and all of the things that separated you and them and them and them disappear. They can't even remember them. Suddenly, for a moment or two, they can't remember any of the things that have that separated them and divided them. And they're looking around at each other, and they're actually meeting each other again for the first time. And they're recognizing, and there's this reunion. And then they look at you, because this is what you did and what you have brought them. And they see and understand. It's a wave of love going to you because you brought them here. Somehow you produced a miracle in their lives, and they're meeting each other again. And some of them start to weep and get on stage and come to you and say, I don't know what you've got or what you've done, but thank you, because I love you. Please forgive me for anything I ever said, because I love you. And they start looking at you and cheering and applauding what you brought to them. They never could have done that. What's a miracle? Everything that divided you went away. Why is this important? Because that's the way it's going to be in a few years. In other words, all of the things that exist today that would have separated you so severely from those that used to love you will no longer be there. Because that's what happens over time. Attitudes change, political parties change, conditions change. And then you look back and go, why? Why did I think this way or do this? Why did I say what I said? When it's all so temporary. Meanwhile, all of them are in a place right now of tremendous appreciation for what you brought to them. Dear ones, when you leave this place and you go back to what you call your reality and you think all those barriers are there again, think again. For the friendship and the love that brought you together for the first time is still there. And perhaps a few compassionate, healing words would be all that's necessary for them to look at you and say, how did you do this? Or you might call them up and you say, first of all, I want to tell you, no matter what you think about me, that I truly love our friendship, and I really, really want to. It doesn't matter how long we might be apart for this, but please, please know that what attracted me to begin with to you, or if you're a family, what I loved about you, I still love about you. And then when you hang up the phone, watch what happens. Because they'll start to see the magic of the angel that you brought them today. Stay here. I want you to stay here and enjoy this just for a little while. Is this real or is this not real? You tell me later when things start to change. And so it is.